Hey guys, welcome to Functional Print Friday. If you like design and using 3D printing to solve real-world problems and not just printing trinkets, this channel's for you. So what I've got on the bench this week is one of the drawers out of my Kennedy toolbox. And can you spot the 3D print? No? Not sure? Tell you what, let's actually go over and look at my whole toolbox stack. Okay, so here's the rest of my Kennedy toolbox stack. And you can see we have a missing drawer here. That's the one that's behind us on the bench. But there's another one of the 3D prints over here. Can you guys see it? Where is it? If you guessed this drawer pull, you're dead on. When I bought this toolbox, it was missing two of the drawer pulls. And I think Kennedy might actually sell these. But I always look to 3D printing first to see if it can solve a problem for me. So let's go back over to the bench and I'll give you a closer look. Okay, so back here at the bench, the 3D printed one here is in the same spot. It's in the center. And you can see that the color looks just slightly different. I actually think it's a pretty darn close color match. And these have a design on the front as well. So here is one of the original, I guess you could call it vintage ones. And here is the 3D print that I created. You can see it does lack the texture. On the surface, sort of has like a crinkle paint texture that matches the paint surface, but I did match the diamond shape, and overall the other dimensions are identical. And I tell you, you really have to be on top of it to spot the difference. The other thing that was a little bit complex about these were if I spin this guy around, you can see here, we'll look at one of the original ones. You can see it's not mounted with, a screw or two screws like you'd expect. It's actually a square shape that you put in at a 45-degree angle and then turn it to lock it in place. And if I can do this without bumping the tripod, you can see I replicated that mounting design with the 3D printed one as well. So real quick one today, but just wanted to give you guys, kind of an idea. There's so many different colors of filament available that even matching things like the plastic drawer pulls on vintage toolboxes or just other equipment that you might have, or even knobs on a piece of equipment, is really quite possible. So that's it for taking a look at this. Let's go look at the design for this, and I'll see if there's anything that I missed. Almost forgot to show you the color for this. So if you haven't seen my video, by the way, on the 3D printed filament color swatches, I'll link that down below. Check it out. It's so useful to have an easy reference for the different colors that you have on hand, or filament that you've had at some point and can reorder. So the color for this is the Hatchbox Copper, and I will link this guy down in the description as well. It's a very, very close match for the original Kennedy drawer pulls. Okay, so here's the design for this, and the first thing I'll point out is that diamond feature on the top. And the reason I point that out is because it is slightly raised, and that means that we cannot use the large obvious face here as the face to put down on the bed. Otherwise, we won't get that diamond feature here on the top. Yeah, you could recess it, which might look similar aesthetically, but then if we recessed it, we're going to see some ugly layer lines underneath as it starts to try and kind of bridge a layer over top of that. We can also see the pull here for your thumb and forefinger to grab this, and this is not supported at all. It doesn't need to be. I found that the overhang here is not large enough that it needed it. It was able to print it in place. Remember, this looks huge on the screen here, but this is quite a small piece. And because we're printing with this face down, that means we also need supports underneath this to support the triangular sections here of the square locating section, as well as the large portion of the underside and these locating pins. So do make sure that your slicer, that you have supports turned on and that you are generating supports for this guy. You could just delete the diamond from the top, live without having that aesthetic, and then print this face down. But I really wanted to match it as closely as possible. So I think that's really it for the design features on this. Like a lot of the prints I feature, particularly the ones that are small, I would recommend printing this one at a 0.1 millimeter layer height just to get the highest level of detail. I should also mention I thought about splitting this up into two pieces, which would make printing a lot easier. If you printed this top section here and the bottom section separately and use some locating holes and pins, you could pick up all of the details of this as your top layers and all of the details of this. But because all of the stress when actually pulling this guy out is going onto this lip here, if we separated these into two different pieces, I feel like it would have the tendency to split apart over time. That's why I left it one piece. So hope you guys enjoyed this. If you've got a Kennedy chest, the STL for this will be available for download completely free on my site, fpfdesigns.com. And again, the filament was the Hatchbox copper in PLA. I'll link that down below in the description. And if you enjoyed this video, I do a video like this every single Friday. It's usually a quick, short video that covers a design that I've come up with to either fix something, make it better, or to provide some new functionality that I wasn't able to just find commercially. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider hitting the like button. And if you want to see more of this content, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next Friday.